Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one if you like what you see. Okay, today we're going to be going over the latest episode of Lovecraft Country, episode number 7 called I Am. Okay, guys, this episode wasn't all that to me, but we're still going to talk about it. Okay, so the episode starts off with Hippolyta and we see her staring at Hiriam's Orery, okay? She took this from Leti's house. Now, first of all, shame on her for stealing from Leti's house, okay? Anyway, Hippolyta figures out how to open the Orery and is able to retrieve a key. So we know that Hippolyta goes on a road trip in search of wherever this thing will lead her, right? Meanwhile, Tic has stayed up all night translating pages while Leti was having nightmares about being back at the lodge trying to escape the fire, in which she sees Tic's ancestor Hanna at the front door with the book of names in her hand. In the dream, Leti is burnt in the fire and she's also pregnant. Once I saw that she was pregnant in the dream, I had a feeling that it meant she was going to be pregnant in real life, right? But they haven't confirmed that for us yet. Anyway, Leti goes to find Tic and sees that he's been up all night. He tells her that things are pretty complicated when it comes to the pages and that Titus and Samuel died at failed attempts to cast certain spells. Leti says, well, you know, Hanna didn't die and you didn't die, right? And she walked right out of that front door, right? Talking about during the fire. And so Tic says, how do you know she walked out of the front door? So Leti winds up telling him that she had a dream about Hanna, right? And so they both realize that they're having similar dreams and that Hanna might be trying to tell them something. When Leti tells Tic that Hanna's holding a book in the dream, they figure out that it's the book of names, okay? I also need to mention that the one thing that Leti doesn't tell Tic is that she's pregnant in the dream. So anyway, we see that Tic gets excited because while Christina is going after the pages, they're about to get the whole freaking book, okay? So in order to find out if there's magic in Tic's family, they go over to Montrose's apartment, right? And they see if he can give them any information. But as they approach his apartment, they see Sammy coming out of it and Montrose is chasing after him, apologizing. So Tic says to him, so it's true. You're an F word. And Montrose gets upset and tells Tic that he's still his daddy and not to ever call him out of his name. Anyway, when Tic asks Montrose if his mother knew about this, Montrose says yes. So Tic storms off and Leti stays behind to get the information they came there for. So she goes outside to tell Tic that his mother had a cousin that survived the riots as well, and he tracked a friend of hers down in St. Louis. So they prepared to get Woody so they can go on a road trip. But before that, Tic tells Leti that his father said that he beat him so he wouldn't be soft. Meanwhile, it wasn't about Tic at all. It was an issue that Montrose had with himself that he took out on Tic. But, you know, Leti doesn't say anything. She keeps quiet. She has like little, you know, tears welling in her eyes, but she just lets Tic vent. So in the next scene, they go to Hippolyta's house to see if they can get Woody, but Hippolyta is already in the car and she is ready to go on this trip to wherever this Orery is going to lead her. She also leaves Ruby in charge of Diana. So when Leti sees that her sister is there, she decides not to go with Tic to St. Louis so she can stay and talk with her sister because, you know, they left off on a bad note. So when Leti goes to talk to Ruby, she apologizes for trying to hustle her. This opens the door for their sisters to make peace. Next, we move on to Hippolyta's road trip, which I could have definitely done without, but since it took up so much time in the episode, I have to talk about it. But first, we see that Tic has made it to St. Louis and he's having dinner with Miss Osberta, who was a close friend of his cousin Ethel. When he asks her questions about a family book, Osberta tells him that the only kind of family book there was destroyed in the fire also. So meanwhile, Leti, you know, she's spending time with Ruby and also Dee and her friends, right? They're playing games and everything. But she eventually finds Hiriam's Orery in Hippolyta's room. Now, the reason she was in Hippolyta's room was because she got nauseous after her sister told her to taste the food she was cooking. Anyway, she goes into Hippolyta's room to get some fresh air from a window and looks over and sees the orrery. Anyway, she calls Tic and lets him know, right? They guess that Hippolyta must have figured out that they lied to her about Uncle George's death, and wherever the orrery is leading her is a dangerous place. Now, before Tic got Leti's call, Ms. Osberta had him looking through an old photo album, and he came across a lady who I think was his cousin Ethel. Anyway, this lady had a distinctive mark on her arm that Tic recognized. It almost looked like it wanted to be a symbol, but it looked more like a birthmark or something like that. But anyway, he goes to the mirror and opens his shirt where he sees the same mark on his back. Now back to the phone call. While Leti is talking to Tic, Ruby is outside of the room, eavesdropping on their conversation. So we see that Ruby is probably going to get more involved in all of this mess that Tic and Leti are in because she's eavesdropping, and earlier in the episode she was also talking to Christina, so she knows there's magic involved. And she's gonna play a part some way, somehow. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, next, Hippolyta makes it to her destination and she starts messing around with this machine. She figures out the map and starts to apply the coordinates to the machine, but 2 cops come in before she could finish. Anyway, we know what happens, right? Tic comes to the rescue just in time, right? He's fighting the officers off and throws one into this portal, while Hippolyta shoots and kills the other one. But long story short, Hippolyta gets sucked into the portal as well, and her whole sci-fi journey begins, okay? Now, this was probably great for the sci-fi lovers, all respect to you guys, but it went on a little too long for me, and it got boring, okay? I will say that we were able to see that Hippolyta is really smart, like astronomy smart, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, she starts going into all these weird scenes where one time she's dancing with Josephine Baker, then she's fighting or training for combat in Africa. And, you know, they fight against these Confederate soldiers and all that stuff. Then she sees George and tells him that she wanted more out of life than just being his wife. Now, maybe they showed us all these things to let us know of the major sacrifices Black women made during those times to be wives and homemakers, when many times they could have been someone great, someone who could have even made history, right? Now, I respect it. I really do. But I guess Hippolyta's story isn't that interesting to me. Sorry, guys. Anyway, while Tic is waiting for Hippolyta to come back through the portal, he hears sirens approaching, so he has to get the heck out of Dodge, right? Before he leaves, he grabs the key that was found in the orrery. But too bad he didn't see Dee's comic sketch under the dead cop's arm, because now we already know that this is going to lead right back to Dee, especially since the sketch had her full name on it, okay? And that was the episode, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it. For me, it started off cool, but once they went into Hippolyta's journey, I was done and uninterested, which is the reason why this is not really like a full review. It's kind of just like a quick recap. Forgive me, guys, if you don't agree, but that's just me. You know, I have committed to reviewing this show, but if ever it's not that interesting, I'm not going to come with the full review because there's just not much I can say after a while. But it was nice to see Uncle George again. And I kind of hope that some way, somehow, they're going to do some magic that can resurrect him. Okay. Anyway, guys, that was the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.